Hi everyone, Pam Gregory, astrologer. I'm going to be speaking to you today about the second half of April and in particular the new moon in Aries that we have coming up on the 18th. But we've been through a really intense and turbulent period of the solar and lunar eclipse over the last few weeks, and people have really gone through enormous changes with that. It's felt astrologically like whitewater rafting. The energy has been so strong. But we're now stepping into a new episode, and this feels much steadier. We are still going to feel the effect of the Uranus-Pluto square for the next year, although we've moved past what is called exactitude. It is still a square, a slightly looser square, and we will still feel its influence. And remember that Uranus is very much associated with awakening, and Pluto is associated with transformation and empowerment. And that's really what that process is about. It's sometimes uncomfortable, but it gets us to where we need to be, to shake us out of those old patterns and old ways of being. So that's the message of this big, powerful aspect that we've had for the last 3 years. And we'll continue, as I say, to feel it for the next year or so. But this month feels much steadier. Mars is in Taurus and it will remain in Taurus for the whole of this month. So whatever ideas and visions and inspirations that you gave birth to over the period of the eclipses, you can now bring those into manifestation. You can ground them. You can make real the dream. And Mars in Taurus is very helpful for giving focus, for giving determination to stick to it, and also for giving us productivity. So it really is helpful to make our plans and our ideas concrete through April. Jupiter on the 8th moves at 12 degrees of Leo. It moves into forward motion. It's been in retrograde motion. So if you know where 12 degrees of Leo is in your chart, that area is likely to expand over the next few months. Jupiter brings confidence. It brings in new opportunities very often. It brings personal growth, and it's also the planet most associated with abundance. So if you know where it's moving through in your chart, that area of life will really start to expand. And what helps us even more on the 17th of April is Mars is square to Jupiter. And this is a great time to forge ahead with a new project. This gives a very good sense of timing, it gives a lot of confidence, and it gives a lot of very focused energy. So if you're initiating part of your plan mid-month, that would be a very good day to do it. On the 17th also, and the 16th in fact, Pluto is stationary. It moves from direct motion to retrograde, but for those 2 days it remains stationary. And whenever a planet is stationary in the heavens, its symbolism becomes magnified. So Pluto's all about power. It's also about cover-ups. So we might see those issues coming to the fore in the world at that time too. But it's also personally about our own power. How far do we live? How fully do we live from our own power? Are we living from our own centre and our own authority? Or do we easily give our power away to other people? And then on the 18th of April, we have the new moon at 28 degrees 25 of Aries. And this happens at 11:56 a.m. Pacific and 7:56 p.m. UK time. And people who are likely to feel this most are people born any year between the 16th and 20th of January or April, or the 19th to the 23rd of July or October. Now, new moons are always new beginnings, so check out where 28 degrees of Aries falls in your chart, because that will represent a new beginning of some kind in that area of life. But this feels like a breath of fresh air because it's in Aries. And Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the first fire sign. So it's a very clear and direct energy. So there's a strong sense of this new consciousness coming into being. It's a feeling almost of rebirth. Aries is very associated with courage, bravery, initiative, new ideas, entrepreneurship. It's about going solo. It's about being pioneering and not needing social approval. It's high achieving. It's the sign of the warrior. So we can be our own spiritual warrior, following our own truth with this. So really use that new moon energy to forge ahead in whichever area of life it's falling for you. What's also helping us this month is Jupiter is in very positive aspect to Uranus. It's trining Uranus. Now, this aspect won't become absolutely exact until June, but it's still within orb, within influence. And this brings in sudden breakthroughs, sudden out-of-the-blue opportunities, windfalls. It can give us a lot of creativity, but there's a feeling of real exhilaration and liberation with this aspect, so that can really help to move us forward too. Saturn remains in Sagittarius all through April, and it will be there for a long time, in fact, in Sagittarius, and it really is bringing up issues of meaning for us, whether we have enough meaning in our lives, whether we're truly living from our passion and our authenticity, whether we're surrounded by like-minded people, or whether we have to make some major adjustments in those areas still. And Saturn is retrograde also in Sagittarius up until August, in fact, of this year. And whenever a planet is retrograde, it asks us to go back over that symbolism. So in this case, go back over whether we're taking responsibility, that's Saturnian, for our own actions, for our own happiness, and for our own lives, because the only way we are happy is if we truly take responsibility for our lives. And Saturn is very much posing that question for us over the next few months. So April is wonderful. There's a feeling of forging and surging forwards with new fresh energy, new ideas and a new episode, but it's also solidly grounded, and we've got to use that Taurus energy, Mars in Taurus, to really bring manifestations into being. So it isn't just in our heads and in our visions, it's becoming very real. So enjoy this new moon in Aries. And if you'd like any more information about my book, or I put out a free monthly newsletter every month about 2,000 words, just check out my website, www.thenextstep.uk.com. And thanks for listening.